Quick question for you, Saints fans. I'm sure you've seen it online, but predict the New Orleans Saints 2024 record for me in the comments section. If you need a quick little, baseline to reference to, the Saints went 9-8 in 2023, so I want to hear what you think their record will be in 2024. And coming up in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the Saints 2024 schedule, but today's video is presented by Game Time. Get $20 off your first purchase with code CHATSPORTS. Terms do apply. We'll tell you more about them in a little bit. So like I mentioned off the top of this video, in today's specific breakdown of Saints Now by Chat Sports, we're going to be going through game by game, and I'm going to give some quick analysis and quick thoughts on each game of the 2024 season for the Black and Gold. So let's kick things off at home against the Carolina Panthers. I do think that Carolina is going to be a much better team than they were last year. Bryce Young year 2. They also added Xavier Legette in the NFL draft. And then on top of that, they made some coaching changes and a better roster overall. So I think that this game could be a fun one, but I like the Saints in week 1. This is where things kind of get interesting. Week 2 at Dallas in Arlington. I think that that's going to be a tough one to play against. I'm not a big believer in the Dallas Cowboys, quite frankly, at all, ever. It doesn't really matter how many wins they have. But I do think that the Cowboys are going to come out early. They're going to come out hot and try and take down the Saints at home. And then you have to travel back home against the Philadelphia Eagles in week 3. And then you head to the Falcons in week 4. And then in week 5, you actually take on Patrick Mahomes. So a kind of tough little stretch from weeks 2 to 5 against the Chiefs at Arrowhead on Monday Night Football. So that'll be your first primetime game for the Black and Gold this season. And then you play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 6. You got another primetime matchup against Sean Payton as he returns to New Orleans for the first time since retiring. Week 7 versus the Denver Broncos. Week 8, Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers and Justin Herbert. You got to travel out to the West Coast to take them on. But then in week 9, you got to go travel back to the East Coast to take on the Carolina Panthers. Week 10, you play against the Falcons at home. Week 11, you play the Browns at home. Week 12, that's your bye. I kind of like how late it is. And then week 13, you play against the Rams. And you guys remember what happened the last time the Rams came to the Superdome? I remember Chris Olave absolutely dusting Jalen Ramsey. We're not going to talk about what happened last season, though, because that wasn't last time they played at home. Week 14, you play against the New York Giants in MetLife. Hopefully that stadium doesn't cause any injuries, because that might be one of the worst fields in the entire NFL. Suck it, Marshall. We beat you last time. We're going to beat you again. Week 15, we're playing against the Washington Commanders at home. So Jaden Daniels is coming back to the state of Louisiana, which will be pretty fun to see. And then you play Monday Night Football at the Green Bay Packers on, come on, December at Lambeau? That's 2 days before Christmas. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, that's going to be cold. But the last time the Saints played in some really cold weather, I remember a couple of years ago in Cleveland, they beat the Browns, which was pretty fun. Also, this week 15 game, fun fact, it's on my birthday, so you got to love that. Week 17, Derek Carr revenge game. Bring it on, Raiders. Bring it on, Mitchell Renz. Bring it on, Jeremy Chuggs. We're going to dust your ass. And then week 18, we're playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You finish the season on the road. But so that's the really quick synopsis of the schedule. We also have a ton of other content here at Saints Now by Chat Sports. So help us reach 27.7K subscribers. We just need 79 people to hit that big red sub button. And if you haven't already, here's a bunch of reasons why you should subscribe. If this is the first time you're seeing our channel, we bring you daily Saints videos, breaking news coverage, weekly live shows, and it's all 100% free. And my favorite part about it, it's Saints videos by Saints fans for Saints fans. So let's go through just one by one real quick. So week 1 versus the Panthers, I do think that the Saints are going to win this game. I think that they kind of have to win this game because when you get to week 2 and week 3, those are tough back-to-back games. You have to travel to Arlington, to Dallas, to take on the Cowboys. And like I said, I'm not a big believer in them, but it's not like you can just write them off entirely. They're going to put up a good fight. And to be quite honest, this is kind of another concerning game versus the Eagles at home. Jalen Hurts will be healthy this go-around, so assuming he'll be healthy this go-around because it's only week 3. The Eagles kind of ended last year on a really, really bad note. Hopefully they're still on that bad note because I really think if you don't win week 2 and you don't win week 3, you're 1-2 going into the Falcons game at week 4, which is in Atlanta, which last time you traveled to Atlanta, Jesse Bates ran back a pick 6 for like 85, 90 yards or something like that. And I don't really want to deal with that. This week 4 matchup is one of those that you have to win because you can go in a multitude of different directions. But in my eyes, I think not a best case scenario, but a really nice situation. If you're 2-2 and the first 4 games are Falcons, Panthers, Cowboys, and Eagles, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty happy with that. Plus, on top of that, your 2 losses are against divisional opponents. So sure, and maybe it hurts your wild card rankings and stuff down the road, but you're on top of the division because you took care of business against the Panthers and you took care of business against those scumbag Falcons. So who you got? Just type S for the black and gold. Type F if you don't know ball and you think the Falcons will win. I will never predict the Falcons to win a football game, against the Saints at least, because I absolutely hate that team. All right, so week 5 at the Kansas City Chiefs. This is why I'm going to go back and say you have to win week 1 and week 4 without a doubt because it's going to be tough to take down Patrick Mahomes under the lights at Arrowhead. That's just not going to be an easy task to do. Derek Carr's tried it a couple times. You guys know how that went. Week 6 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that this is a must-win game as well. If you can start off the season ahead in the divisional race, I think that that's going to be really, really important because last year, the Saints really started off slow, and then towards the end of the season, their offense was looking good. The defense was humming. They ended on a very, very high note. Really, the Rams game was the only one that I was like, what the hell is going on, in the back half of the season. So I think if you can start week 6 again, 3-0 against your division, big-time win. Week 7 versus the Broncos, Thursday Night Football. Sean Payton is coming home to New Orleans, and I'm absolutely stoked about this game. And it's actually our game time featured matchup here of the day. And one other, quick reminder for game time. If you want to get tickets to this ball game, it's going to be an absolute blast. Sean Payton, Pro Knicks, they got a lot to prove. But the New Orleans Saints, I promise you, they're going to freaking bring it. And I want to know, are you going to boo Sean Payton? I don't know. Would you boo him? I don't know if I would, but it kind of feels tacky. But I don't know. If you're going to boo him, let me know in the comments. But really quick, got to tell you guys about the game time deal that we got going. $20 off your first purchase when you download the Game Time app and use our code CHATSPORTS. That's code CHATSPORTS. Chat Sports to get $20 off. The information is in the comment section and description of this video. But if you want to go to concerts, comedy shows, other live events in New Orleans, or anywhere across the country, I highly encourage you to download the Game Time app and use our code to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. One more time, download the Game Time app, use code CHATSPORTS. You get $20 off. All that information is in the comment section and description of this video. So week 7 is going to be a really fun matchup. I think the Saints should have no problem winning that. But week 8 could be a tough one. I really think that if Jim Harbaugh can get the Chargers rolling, you got the pieces in I almost said Justin Jefferson, and Justin Herbert. If you have Justin Herbert there, you got a good quarterback. You lost Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, who knows what is going to go on with year 2 with him. So I think that you could sneak away with the win against the Chargers. That would be a big time. That'd be really, really huge for the Saints if you can make that happen. Week 9 at the Panthers. Last year you won both games, and in 2022 you lost both games. So in the past 2 years you've split the series. Try and beat the hell out of them this year. Come on, the Panthers are the baby brothers. Get them out of here. I don't want to talk about them, but let's get back to the Falcons because the Falcons game is always one that I have circled on my calendar. I absolutely love that they're also spacing out the games. You get them in week 4. You see them again 6 weeks later in week 10. And I think that that's going to be a really fun matchup. It's going to be at noon right now. That's the expectation. So, midday game in Caesars Superdome. It's going to be rocking. Hopefully we can repeat what we did last year in week, 18? Yeah, week 18. Week 11, you take on the Cleveland Browns. That's going to be a noon kickoff as well. Deshaun Watson looking to prove a lot this year. The Browns' defense is absolutely stellar, and to be quite honest, Cleveland is a team that I could see making a lot of noise. If Deshaun Watson can return to that form he was with when he was with the Texans, I mean, that team, the sky is the limit. So that's a really concerning game for me, and that's one that I'm kind of wary about. But good news is you got your bye the following week. So if you're a little banged up after some of these games, it's okay. You can get a little extra rest when you get the bye week. And then actually it's a pretty cool little thing. When you go and play the Rams in week 13 at home, that game is actually going to be at 3:05. It's going to be an afternoon game. The Chargers game in week 6 also a 3:05 kickoff, just worth noting. So afternoon slate. But hey, the Saints don't have a lot of afternoon games. You got a couple of them. The Rams are going to be one of them. I just hate the Rams, man. Can we take care of business this year? Last year was embarrassing. Can we take care of business? Just kick the hell out of them. That would be ideal for me. Week 14 at the New York Giants. Hopefully that turf at MetLife doesn't take anybody's ACL. That's going to be a noon kickoff as well. It's going to be on Fox from what I understand. And on top of that, I think that when you play against Daniel Jones, if he's the starting quarterback by then, that's going to be interesting because he does have Malik Neighbors in his arsenal of weapons. So the Saints have been able to get a lot of looks at Neighbors with his time at LSU. So hopefully you can take care of business and game plan there. Week 15, I'm actually super excited about this one. Honestly, the Commanders are not the dog crap team that they used to be. Like, I really enjoy what they have done this offseason. They got very, very active in free agency. They were active in trades. They were making really smart draft picks. I love Jaden Daniels as a prospect, and I'm so excited to see what he can do in his NFL career. And it's going to be fun to see him come back to the state of Louisiana, play at Caesars Superdome. That'll be fun for a lot of Saints fans. Kind of, I mean, not the same effect, but it's going to be kind of like when Joe Burrow came to the Superdome after he got drafted whenever he was with the Bengals. So kind of a fun little full circle moment for Daniels. Week 16, you got to travel to go and play the Packers 2 days before Christmas, Monday Night Football. You know, I would say I'm kind of worried about that, but the last time you had to play in really, really severely cold conditions, you handled your business against the Browns. So make it a scrappy game. Don't, excuse my French, don't fuck it up like you did last year in week 2 or 3? Like that was, week 3, that was embarrassing. Embarrassing collapse of a loss. You went up at halftime. Don't do that again. Beat the Packers. Come on, FGB's in the chat. Week 17, that one, the Chat Sports Studios, they're going to burn to the ground that week because Derek Carr might put up 70 points against Aiden O'Connell and the frickin' Raiders. Maybe it's Gardner Minshew. Maybe it's Aiden O'Connell. I don't really give a shit. I can tell you right now, though, we're going to kick the hell out of Raider Nation. In Week 18, God, I already know that's going to be a bad take, Seeps. I already know I'm going to get exposed for that. Week 18, you finish the season at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last year, you split the series. You actually won the game that was in Tampa Bay. They won the game in New Orleans. So let's not do that this year. Let's just win both games for the NFC South. All right, so really quick, here is the full schedule. I kind of just gave some analysis for each one, but in case you forgot, this first half of the season, not going to lie, kind of tough. It's not easy. It's really, really not an easy stretch. But then you get to the back half of the season, things kind of maybe get a little bit easier here and there. I mean, the Saints are tied for the second easiest schedule with the Atlanta Falcons. So I think that the Saints could take this schedule. I'm going to say they win 10 games. Last year they won 9, but I think that they're going to win 10. So I want to know if you haven't already. It's your last chance. Predict the Saints record in the comments section. And as always, y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.